What we learned from NC State football's comeback win at Wake Forest. 6 of the last 8 games between NC State and Wake Forest were determined by 10 points or fewer, and in the FBS' second-longest consecutive rivalry, things were bound to get wild. The Demon Deacons made an emphatic opening statement in Winston-Salem, setting the tone for what would be a back-and-forth contest for the 116th straight meeting between the two squads. Wake Forest, 2-1, took a 2-touchdown lead early in the first, but NC State, 3-0, responded to win, 34-24, on Thursday night. The team picked up just its 4th road win over Wake since 2000 and earned its first 3-0 start since 2022. It was the 4th comeback win in the last 2 seasons after trailing by 10 points at halftime. The Deacs looked impressive from the first play after wide receiver Chris Barnes sprinted down the left sideline, untouched, his speed reaching 23 miles per hour on the run. The NC State defenders trailed several steps behind, unable to keep up with the speedy receiver who scored the kickoff return touchdown and put Wake Forest up 1 score. Barnes hauled in a deep ball for a gain of 70 yards on the Deacs' second drive of the game. Wake Forest scored 3 plays later to end the 93-yard drive, looking like it had all the momentum. Except NC State was not about to go down quietly. Not against an in-state rival. The Wolfpack, led by quarterback CJ Baile, scored on its second offensive drive to cut the lead to 1 score. Baile and running back Hollywood Smothers combined for 52 yards on the ground to move the chains to give NC State favorable field position. Defensive end Isaiah Shirley came up with a second big touchdown, intercepting a pass from Wake Forest quarterback Robbie Ashford. Shirley ran for a 41-yard touchdown. His play included a slick stutter step roughly 20 yards from the end zone to evade Ashford's attempted tackle and tie the game 14. Running back Hollywood Smothers led the Wolfpack with 164 rushing yards, his second consecutive 100-yard game. Tight end Justin Jolie added 2 touchdowns on just 22 receiving yards. Baile completed 23 of 32 passes for 201 yards with 3 touchdown passes. Here's what we learned from the Wolfpack's win. Early defensive struggles on 3rd down. Wake Forest's offense had few issues on 3rd down in the opening half, the second opponent to have success against NC State's defense on conversion opportunities. The Demon Deacons started the game 6 for 6 on 3rd down. They failed to convert on 2 opportunities late in the second quarter, going 6 of 8 before the break. 1 failed conversion, however, still resulted in a 28-yard field goal. NC State's defense was better in the second half, holding the Deacs scoreless after the break. Wake Forest finished 6 of 15 on 3rd down chances, missing its final 9 chances. This comes less than a week after the Wolfpack allowed Virginia to convert on 13 of 19 3rd down opportunities. The Cavaliers were 10 of 13 at halftime and did not go 3 and out at any point of the game. I was really disappointed with our 3rd down defense in the first half, and that was really the story of the half, Doran said during his press conference on Monday. We have to win our share of critical downs. After another slow start, the Wolfpack finally did that in the second half to fuel the comeback win at Wake Forest. Defense contributes big second half. The defense's consistency remains to be a question mark for the Wolfpack. It has made great plays in the first 3 games, but it hasn't consistently shown the same kind of physicality, speed and toughness on which NC State prides itself. For example, on 2 of Wake Forest's big plays, NC State got beat in coverage. Barnes' 70-yard reception was made possible by the defenders playing closer to the line of scrimmage as he hauled it toward the right sideline. Safety J.J. Johnson, who ultimately left the game with an undisclosed upper extremity injury, was in shallow coverage, while it took Brody Barnhart committing a horse collar tackle for a penalty to force Barnes out of bounds. Later in the first half, tight end Eni Falei gained 42 yards for the Deacs. The original play was extended after adding 24 yards after the catch, with linebacker Caden Fordham slow on the coverage. The defense, however, stepped up in the 3rd and 4th quarters, something it did in the previous game, to retake the lead. It forced 4 straight 3-and-outs and held Wake Forest without a first down for more than 30 minutes of game time. Defensive end Sebastian Harsh, one of the team's best defenders, was called for targeting late in the 4th quarter. He lowered his helmet and hit Ashford helmet to helmet as he was sacked by Kean Sloan. He missed the remainder of the game and will be out in the first half against Duke on September 20th, per NCAA rules. Ronnie Royal followed up the penalty with an interception on the next play. NC State's win featured some great moments. It also had ones when it felt like the pack regressed, and it could use fewer major swings. While the Wolfpack would like to have a defense it can depend on for all 4 quarters, right now, it's only getting 2. That means wins this season might be fueled by the offense rattling off touchdowns and not by piling up stops. Peak steps up in pivotal moments. Offensive tackle Jacarius Peak is statistically NC State's best lineman, according to Pro Football Focus. He showed his experience and significance in the win Thursday night. Peak went down on the first drive, appearing to have tweaked his knee after an awkward landing. Despite needing an injury timeout, the redshirt junior returned to play and looked good as new. Notably, Peak came up with a handful of big blocks to keep plays alive. After picking up a 10-yard penalty in the first quarter, with less than 3 minutes in the first quarter, Baile scrambled as the pocket collapsed. He needed a gain on 2nd down and 11. The sophomore QB made his way to the left side and ran for 10 yards, Peak blocking the defender to give him a clear path. 2 plays later, Baile found Jolie for the team's first touchdown. He did the same thing for Smothers in the fourth quarter. The running back put together a 42-yard play to put NC State on the Wake Forest 15-yard line. Smothers, like he did against Virginia, used evasive footwork and sheer athleticism to help on the play, but a strong block from Peak allowed him to add additional yards to the rush. The Wolfpack added a 12-yard touchdown from Baile to wide receiver Keenan Jackson to take its first lead of the game. Offensive linemen don't always get credit, but Peak can say he directly impacted 2 scoring drives.